played a ton of games in 2024, and now we're going to talk about all the analytics, and we're going to start with Scott's.
I'm Scott.
I'm Jen.
We're Retro Rivals, and we're going to do our annual
Analytics.
This is the games we beat in 2024.
Yes.
Expect I'm going to give you my top 3 for the year, my game of the year, and probably the bottom of the list too.
What we like to do here is we go over all the analytics. We break it down by genre. We break it down by console.
Can I say one thing?
Yes.
Dennis is also going to do this
Yes!
video. And Dennis hates the word genre.
So we're going to try to say it as many times as we can when we do this video with him. The very first genre we're going to go with is run and gun. And we literally had one game on this. We played it for 1 hour, and it's Death Wish Enforcers.
Death Wish Enforcers. It was very much inspiration for the, what is it called? Wild Guns?
Yeah, it's very Wild Guns.
If Wild Guns and a porno had a baby, it would be Death Wish Enforcers. I didn't hate it by any means.
No, I didn't.
But I think maybe because Dennis did hate it.
He did.
So we played it, 3 of us, and it was, you could feel that it was like, oh my god, just trying to get through the game, and it kind of ruins it for everybody else. But
Yeah.
it's really, it's not the best game for sure, but I would play it again.
I would play it again too. I'd like to do better.
Not for kids.
Not for kids. Okay, the second genre we have is hack and slash, and we played 2 games, and they're both co-op games.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have Gauntlet Slayer Edition, which I
Yes.
think is kind of a remake of the arcade game, right?
Yeah, it might be. I'm not really sure.
We enjoyed that quite a bit. That was on the PS4?
I do believe it's on the PS4.
I think it was PS4 we played.
Yeah.
It was digital copy only. And then Zombie Vikings, also a PS4 game.
It's like a poor man's Castle Crashers.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't great.
No.
Would I play it again? Probably not.
No, I don't think
But
I would either.
I enjoyed the time that we did have with it.
I did too. So 2 in the hack and slash. Action adventure. We have Alice Madness Returns and Ghostbusters, the video game remastered. I don't think you loved Alice as much as I wanted you to. You didn't.
Definitely didn't love it as much as you wanted me to.
Yes.
Because I think it might be one of your favorite games of
It's
all
one of
time.
my favorite games of all time, for sure.
It wouldn't even crack the top 50. Like, it was a good game. It was a really good game. It's good soundtrack. It's good art. Everything was really good. It just wasn't my kind of game.
Yeah, I can understand that. And you had fun with Ghostbusters. That was your Halloween game.
That was my
this year.
Halloween game this year. We had touched on it back when it came out. When the remastered copy came out.
You and Dennis and Alex sat down and played it a bit.
For only a couple hours, maybe a couple hours. I don't even know if it was a couple hours. I always meant to go back and play it. And this year I was like, I'm playing that.
Yeah.
I also played something else, but we'll talk about it later
Yeah,
on. But that was my main Halloween game for this year.
Yeah. And
it was awesome.
It wasn't a long game either.
No, what, like 8 to 12 hours-ish?
something in
I want
that
to say
range.
12 hours-ish.
Yeah,
It was
something in that
great.
range.
It was like, I love Ghostbusters, especially the first movie. And over the years, the second movie has kind of grown on me.
And this is meant to be the third movie.
This is basically the third movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Platformers. So you had 3. You had Trine 5.
Yep.
Kirby Planet Robobot.
Robobot.
Not whatever you said last.
Roboto. That's a song.
And Ninja Gaiden. I don't think there's any bad ones really in this category. We did have fun with all of them. You enjoyed Robobot. Kirby Planet Robobot.
I think Robobot was the best of the 3 of them.
Really?
To be honest.
On Ninja Gaiden almost made him throw his controller, but he did beat that live.
Ninja Gaiden made me throw my controller.
Yes.
Multiple
No, not
times.
almost. Yes, made you.
Yeah, I 100% threw my controller.
We got to do a live stream of that, though. You beat it on a live stream, which was really friggin' cool. Somebody did ask you to do TMNT on a live stream now.
Ooh.
You haven't played it in a while.
Yeah, I beat it the one time, and it was very difficult the way I did it. It would be a long stream.
Trine 5 was just more Trine. It was...
Been there and done that.
Yes.
I haven't changed anything.
And I was just impressed you played a handheld game, because you do not
Me too.
usually subscribe to handheld gaming.
For the most part, I just don't like... Well, for me, it's bent over like this, and it's like the same thing if it's a phone. Bent over like this, and I find my neck starts hurting. And
I understand that because I get the same way.
And most of the handhelds have these tiny little buttons there and piss me off.
Yeah, it's not made for man hands.
Yeah.
One Metroidvania game. One. Curse of the Sea Rats, and it's a co-op game. No, you didn't.
It was okay. It was okay. Jen enjoyed it way more than I did. I don't know why.
I love Metroidvania.
I would be fine not playing it ever again.
Wait, I thought it was really good. I don't know what
What part did you like about it? The terrible voice acting.
See, this is the thing. The longer we're away from the game, I think the more you are like, yeah, I'm done with that. And the longer we're away from the game, I appreciate it more. So I don't know how we got on separate pages here. It's so weird.
Yeah, you're weird.
You're weird.
You're weird.
You're weird. Okay. This is Scott's big category. Want to guess what it is? Too late. RPG. We all knew it was going to be that. I'm going to name them all, and then he can talk about the ones he wants to talk about.
Plus the ones that she probably forgot to write down.
No, I wrote them all down. There is 10. We got Cosmic Star Heroine, Final Fantasy II, Ys Origins, South Park Stick of Truth, Kadelka, Albert Odyssey, Sea of Stars, Earthbound, Parasite Eve, and Unicorn Overlord. Now, Parasite Eve honestly could be RPG or horror, but I think it's an RPG first.
Yeah, I think.
I think so. So I was conflicted. That was the only one I was really conflicted on.
Yeah.
The whole motivation for trying to play it this year was to get through...
I wanted to tackle the Chrysler building.
Yes.
And failed on this playthrough. I ended up giving up and...
It's because you didn't get all the junk to get the junk weapon.
You're a junk expert, are you?
I'm a junk expert.
Anyway, but when you play through it, you get to... you save your best weapons. You save your gun and you save your armor, your body armor, whatever it is. And... when you go to play it again, it's like extra game.
Yeah.
EX game. It's like a new game plus, and you get to do it again. So I had carried over from my previous playthrough, so I did have slightly better armor and stuff.
Yes.
But I didn't really try to go big and firm. I didn't even try to get all the junk. You need 300 pieces of junk to get one of the weapons that's the best. Like, I think there's probably like 8 of them or something.
There's an easier way to do it that you just didn't know at the time.
I was trying to do it without looking anything up because I don't like doing that, even though this is like the 4th playthrough. Anyway, I missed the opportunity of the best place to farm
it. You kind of got to leave before you finish that sequence, and then you can farm. The one I would really like to talk about, which I think people are going to be surprised by, because it neither makes your bottom or your top, I don't believe, is Earthbound.
It's closer to the bottom than it is to the top.
Yeah, it just didn't click with you.
No, it didn't. I appreciated the art style of it. The battle mechanics were kind of cool and different at first, but got old fast. Yeah. There's no story there at all. And it just got repetitive and boring for me.
Yeah.
I couldn't appreciate the quirkiness of how different it was now at my age 46, as I'm sure people did when they played it for the first time back then. When it came out.
Yeah. It was something different. So I understand that. You made me play Stick of Truth. You made Dennis play Ys Origins, so we'll inevitably talk about those.
Ys Origins was really good.
Yeah.
So Stick of the Truth.
Stick of the Truth. Albert Odyssey was your first Saturn game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the very first
Saturn I loved it right up until the last dungeon.
Well, then I came in and saved the day.
Thank God.
Thank God, because you were having puzzle nightmares.
Well...
I understand. It was terrible. I had to literally
the last dungeon was horrible. And I was trying to follow the walkthrough, and I couldn't make sense of what the hell they were trying to tell me.
Yeah.
So, between the two of us, it was because every time you hit a random encounter...
Yeah.
Your screen could shift, and I didn't know if I was going up or down or left, and I was getting lost so bad. I'd spent hours just in that one dungeon with the walkthrough, trying to get it, and I was lost.
It's too hard when you're not
lost.
constantly watching the walkthrough and watching the screen. As soon as you look down, you're lost.
So she had to kind of read it and like really, between the two of us, figure out which way to go.
Yes.
Other than that, I loved it right up until that, but that last dungeon, it really took a few pegs off that game.
I was so happy you played Kadelka and loved it.
Oh, it was awesome.
That I was really happy about, especially since Alice didn't hit as hard as I wanted it to. So I kind of held my breath, wondering if I had overplayed Kadelka, like I'd oversold how good it was.
It gave me a lot of Parasite Eve vibes.
So
it's probably because it's a PS1 game also.
Yeah.
And it's a horror game.
And there's voice acting in it, which is surprising for that era.
Pretty damn good. My first strategy game. Strategy RPG.
Yeah.
Or tactics.
Tactic RPG. Yeah.
First tactics game. Really loved it. I started picking up tactics games after that.
Well, speaking of tactics games, Unicorn Overlord was a big one for you this year, and I think for everyone, anyone that played it. And you didn't really get to talk about that, and every time I asked you how you were enjoying it, you're like, "It's really good." Like,
I was
really good.
Absolutely addicted to it. For like, pretty much the entire playthrough. The entire playthrough, I think I spent 85 and a half hours, start to finish. Would have been even longer than that if I had kept watching all the battles.
Because you don't have to watch them.
No, you can literally hit like the top options button or whatever, and it'll just do a simulated battle, so you know to get through it. And then I would watch the fight sequence for the command post. Yeah,
because those actually gave you more story.
That's where the story, keeps connecting. But if you're dying, you want to see the battles. It's an auto battler also. So you build your team up and change all the stats and weapons and everything. All the characters, whoever you want in your teams, and then you let the battle happen, and it's an auto battle. Yeah, it's really cool. It reminds me of Dragon's Crown, the art style.
Oh, okay, I can see that, because we played a little bit of Dragon's Crown, and I did watch you play a little bit of that, and I kept commenting the art style was really nice. Yeah. And now that you say it, I see that.
So I was watching every single battle up until about 40 hours into it, and I was realizing that I am only about 25% into the map. I'm like, this is going to be way over 100 hours, and I have to start skipping a lot of these battle scenes.
But you know what? I knew you loved the game because you kept... You're the type of person that if you don't have a good block of time, or if you have a pretty stacked day where you have a lot you have to do, you're like, I'm not gaming today. You were going, I'm going to figure out a way to play this today.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So I knew you were enjoying it. Yeah. We're going to talk about a few more of these a little bit later, so I think that's what we need to cover here, unless you think anything else is pertinent.
No? I think a very underrated one is Cosmic Star Heroine. I played that early on.
Very early in the year. You got it for Christmas last year.
Really good. South Park, Stick of Truth was really good. Most of those games are really good.
Yeah. All right, you didn't have many shooters, which is kind of surprising, considering that's all you and Alex play.
Well, me and Alex really
didn't play a lot of games.
Really just dropped off. Like, we haven't played a game in probably 6 months.
Yeah. Sniper Elite V2 and Sniper Elite 3. Yeah. You did play with Alex. I think you enjoyed them both. It's a Sniper Elite game, so they're pretty enjoyable.
I went and picked up Sniper Elite 4. We have 2 copies of that.
Just waiting on him to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
So to speak. Zombieland Double Tap Road Trip.
That's the worst game on that list.
Yeah, and Evil West.
Biggest disappointing game for me, because I don't know if I wasn't in the right frame of mind.
Yeah, I think you played
it on the wrong difficulty for me.
That's what I think.
Which made it too frustrating and pissed me off a lot.
Yep.
That wasn't the same time I was playing Ninja Gaiden, was it? I think I played Ninja Gaiden after that.
No, you played Ninja Gaiden after that. You were just not tortured enough. You thought you should have more torture.
Something like that, yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, it didn't hit as hard as I expected it would either. And it really makes me sad, because I think if you would have just played at a lower difficulty from the start, this might...
It's a God of War clone. It's just a shooter in the West, but it's very much a God of War clone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Typically, we don't log all of Scott's hours for Super Mega Baseball, and we were wrong before not to. He played Super Mega Baseball 2, 3, and 4,
With Dennis.
With Dennis.
Yeah, I only play co-op. I
You only play co-op?
I never play the game by myself.
No, well, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
Not in Scott's video, but you get where we're going. And those games are 50 hours per
season, because
season.
we play an 82 game season instead of the regular, what is it, 182 games?
Yes.
We play an 82 game season and 7 innings instead of 9 to try and like condense it so a game takes about a half an hour for us to play. And with playoffs, it comes out to roughly about 50-ish hours, depending on how many games you play in the playoffs.
Is there one you prefer more? Or you rotate? They rotate.
We rotate through. Like
you never put one on
we had finished off 4 very late last year, or even maybe early this year, and then we went into play 2.
Yes.
And then we played that all the way through, and we played 3, and then we played 4. Actually, I think we played. That's why 4 is on there.
Yeah.
We played 4, then we played 2, then 3.
Yes.
And we're back into 4 again
yeah,
now.
You are. Yeah. So they haven't finished that.
Probably 20 games into that.
Yeah.
No.
Every time I have to work on a day where they're not working, they play, and then sometimes they even play. Like I've had to paint this year, so they're like, "Well, we'll play baseball."
Yeah, you need to paint, Jen.
You need to paint. You sure you don't have to go wash your hair? Or... All right, so that's the end.
Oh, so she has a nice big pie chart.
I do.
Genres.
I love pie charts.
They're delicious.
They're delicious. So Scott ended up playing 8 different genres, and here we're showing where he spent most of his time.
Not a surprise.
You can see the big pie of RPGs.
Yeah.
And that accounted for almost 40% of your games, which is crazy.
Not surprised.
And we put turn-based, tactical, and action RPG in that.
RPG's all RPG.
It's just all RPG.
Yeah.
Run and gun was like 1 hour, accounted for 3.8%. I mean, that's just per game.
Yeah.
If you break it down per hours, it's just like a little sliver of the pie, and we'll get that into that in a minute. But everything else was, fairly equal. Just RPG took over your entire year.
Yeah, I'm surprised the shooter wasn't a lot bigger.
Yeah,
but like
it was
I
your
say, me
and
Alex we haven't played a game
since
the summer.
That's just genres. That's not how many hours the pie took, and we're gonna touch that now. This is hours played in genre, and this is where it got surprising to me. Scott, 316 hours in RPGs.
Hey, sounds like a good time to me.
For 10 RPGs.
Yeah.
The shooters were a smaller portion as well.
32 hours in the
yeah,
shooters.
you can't even see it.
Still, shooters are roughly about 8-ish hour games.
They're not long.
Yeah.
There's a little sliver of the pie chart you can't even see when you look at it here, but it does account for run and gun. And you can't see it. That's how small it is. But it's right beside Metroidvania. Are you starting to get a sense of how much you actually played in the game?
Good. I'm not doing the math there.
Okay, don't even, because it's so much fun. Okay, so console game breakdown. You did have 11 different consoles. I do believe that was your breakdown. 11 different consoles.
That's pretty good.
6 of them on the PS5. That's the most.
You know what? For an adult, that's loose. I don't know if anybody would call me an adult, but trying to be an adult, it's a lot easier to play games on a modern console because you can save it right on the fly.
Yeah, and I get there would probably be an argument
put it in rest mode and walk away.
Right.
Oh,
there would probably be an argument there for people who don't have great internet providers that they're like, well, I can just put a retro game in
I can see that,
and play it right away.
Yep.
But for us, we have pretty good internet speeds here.
Yep.
And we're hooked up like right via the Ethernet cord, so
yeah, the internet's not a problem for us.
That would be different.
Yep.
Next screen is the console game breakdown, but with how many hours you played too added to it. So look at the PS5 hours, nearly 200 hours on the PS5.
Wow, just one game was close to 100.
That's right. So
I had 85 and a half hours just on Unicorn Overlord.
But for a total hours of you played 624 hours this year.
What was my last year's total?
I'm happy you asked that because we have screens for that as well. I have all the screens. So I think that might be the next one. No, it's gaming habits, but that will be the one after this. I love this. This made me gloat a little bit because he's always like, I play retro so often, it's ridiculous. and I play so many co-op games. This is what we're here for. We do love our co-op games, but you played more single-player games.
This year?
57.7% of your games.
I'm getting sick of you guys. I'd rather play by myself.
And then retro games versus modern games.
Oh, I knew that was going to be a shit show this year. Yeah.
76.9%.
I think Ninja
modern.
Gaiden should take up a big chunk of pie, no matter what.
We count it for the amount of hours you put into that.
I know, but I took a little piece of my soul.
And then you made me put this pie chart in the single player retro versus modern. You're like, well, it's up to me. When I play games just for me, I play retro games. The pie chart says you didn't.
You know why? I played more PS5 games this year because I had a bunch of those big RPGs that I bought late last year. I still have a bunch of them.
Yes. Yeah. So, well, they take up a lot of time.
I'm like, I can't keep buying them and not playing them there just to play the older stuff that I haven't played yet too. I have to like start mixing it up.
Yeah, but I don't think you should have to apologize for anything. You play what you want.
I'm not apologizing to you for anything.
I'm not saying
Go make me a sandwich, would you?
I'm saying I think sometimes we're expected to play more retro, but you gotta play what you feel like playing.
I'm gonna play nothing but retro next year.
Okay, well that's fine because I want
Shut your pie hole.
I want the PS5, so you could just get the hell out of the room. That'd be great.
How many hours did you spend on the PS5 this year?
We're not doing my video. This is also surprising. Scott always says his year gets away from him in the last half of the year. Yeah. This year, that is not true. 41% of your games were played in the first 6 months, and then 59%.
You want to know why?
Why?
I had a concussion there. Like I had a pretty, kind of a serious accident in the first of the year, and I ended up fainting. I cracked my head on the vanity in the washroom, and I had a pretty nasty concussion. Symptoms of I was so bad I didn't know how bad I was.
Yes. Yeah. It lasted months.
Months. It probably took me 6 months to completely feel 100% normal. Yeah. But even now, my memory's not great.
Your memory's still not great.
No. I also had to fix the leak out there, and I dug my own grave with a shovel and a pickaxe.
And concussion. That was like during...
I still had a concussion symptoms during that. And I was out there digging a hole. Like, oh my god. Yeah. I spent what, a month out there?
Oh yeah. Last year, Scott asked me year over year what we do, and I want to include all 3 years this year that we've been doing these videos. Yeah. So, Scott only played 26 games this year, but what the takeaway is from this is just because you've only played 26 games, less than the year before at 34, that was your most you've ever played, doesn't mean you don't put more hours in. There might be better quality games there. We got some bang for our buck this year. You played 624 hours in 26 games, which I thought was really surprising because you've never put that many hours.
624 hours is shocking. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Especially where I know the first quarter, if not 6 months, was quite thin. Was thin, but not as thin as you thought. Once we looked at that 6 month, overview, you went up 100 hours from the year before, and then like 200 and whatever from the year before that. I'm going up 100 a year.
You're going up 100 a year?
Getting better with age.
Yep, there you go. Next screen is top and bottom stuff. And I think you told me you wanted to leave the top 3 single player till the end.
Yeah, that's the only ones I grabbed. The physical copies of it. We're going to help bring them out,
Yeah, most hours in one game. I don't think it's going to surprise anybody because it is an RPG. Is Unicorn Overlord, and it would have been more than the 85 hours you put into it, but you let those battles autoplay.
I had to start doing these simulation battle, the quick battles for most of it, and then when you get to the command post, then I would watch the battle so I can get the story. Get involved more in the story. So I wouldn't miss anything.
No, and I don't think you missed anything by skipping.
No. I was watching everything up to the 40-hour mark, and I was like 25% of the map done or something. I was like, this is gonna be well over 100 hours if I keep this up.
Well, you kept saying that.
Yeah.
Bottom co-op game, Zombieland. Double Tap Road Trip. It just got a little bit weird. It got a little bit weird in the supermarket.
Bad glitch.
Yeah, there was a bad glitch there. Up until then, even though it wasn't... there was nothing to it.
The talking the dialogue.
Yeah.
You could cut out
too much.
all of the dialogue in that game. It was horrible.
Yeah, it would have been a better game if we had less dialogue.
It would have been a better game if you had no dialogue.
Yeah.
It was that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top co-op game, Gauntlet Slayer Edition.
Yep.
And you had to remind me and Dennis what that was, because
Yeah.
then I was like, oh yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we had a lot of time. I remember Dennis was like bugging us.
Yeah.
Like, oh, do you want to go? Oh, yeah, you guys want to play that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was Dennis's kind of game for sure, and obviously it was yours because you named it as your top co-op. Bottom 3 single player, in no particular order. I don't know if any of these were worse than the other, were they really?
No, not really. Like, it's just, I don't like calling them like games.
I should have said bottom. I said worst. I meant bottom.
Yeah, because she said pick your worst games. I'm like, oh shit, I don't like doing that.
Because I
don't go out try to pick games that I
just to trash them.
Just to trash them, because I know there's some channels that do that. This is the worst shitty game ever.
I mean, if we organically come across a bad game and we play it, we're not gonna like pump it up.
It's usually the games you gave up on. We do that every quarter or so.
Yeah.
These are just the games that I wanted to enjoy them, and they just didn't hit.
They didn't hit.
Yeah.
We have Evil West, Earthbound, and Final Fantasy II.
Evil West
was a difficulty situation.
I tried to play it on higher difficulty than what I should have played it at, and I don't know, I wasn't in the right frame of mind. Yeah. Earthbound, I enjoyed the graphics.
Yeah.
The best part of the game for me was the graphics. The battle mechanics was kind of cool at first because it was different. But it got old real fast towards the end, and there's like no story.
And Final Fantasy II.
Final Fantasy II, that's the Japanese Final Fantasy II. That's not our Final Fantasy II, because our Final Fantasy II would be Final Fantasy IV. I haven't played that one yet. But my main gripe with that is if I hadn't have found the Blood Sword, I don't know how I would have beat the final boss.
Yeah.
It was that bad.
Yeah.
Even then, once you had the Blood Sword, it's like, I don't think you can lose this battle.
Yeah.
Dennis also played that game. I don't know if it was this year. I think it was a couple years ago, and he gave up on it because he couldn't get the Blood Sword. Yeah, because he didn't have the Blood Sword, and he couldn't beat the final boss.
Yeah, because you kind of soft lock yourself. If you don't have it, you can't.
I know people tell you can still beat the boss, but I don't know how much grinding you gotta do and stuff. But.
Yeah. All right, and so what you wanted to save for the end, and I understand why. Top 3 single player games. We're gonna start from the bottom and then go to the top.
All right.
Okay. So this one I was a little surprised by, but not really because you talked about it in every video we filmed.
I made you play it.
Yeah. South Park Stick of Truth, and then you bought it every way you could find it.
I did. I literally bought it on every console that you can get it on there.
And you got it because it had a map on the 360 one, which is hard to find.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I got a PS4 copy, I got a 360 copy, I got the PS3 copy, and I have the Xbox One copy. I made you play it. You played it on the PS4.
Yes, of course I did.
I played that. I think I had to take 2 nights off at work early in the year, like last year, maybe in February or something.
Yeah.
I was sick with a flu or a cold or something, and basically sat down in the basement and played that and laughed my butt off. Made me feel good.
Oh my god, it's hilarious. Yeah. Some of the stuff that came up in that game, I was shocked by, but in a good way, it shocked me. Because that's my type of humor. If you're not a preteen boy or a college kid, you probably won't like it as much. And we're neither one of those things, but apparently that's what we like. Second best, finally got a physical, Canadian-made game, Sea of Stars.
Sea of Stars. Awesome RPG. Has kind of... You know what? The battle mechanics are kind of similar to Stick of Truth in the fact that there's kind of a timing, to deflect the enemy's attack.
Yeah.
Graphics are awesome, music's awesome, everything was awesome. Only thing I ever had, I wouldn't even call it negative to say, where it fell a little flat, was the music on the final boss. I just didn't feel like it was epic.
Epic, yeah, and it should be.
Every RPG, I know you haven't played any, but Final Fantasy VII, that last boss, where you're like,
I haven't played any RPGs?
You haven't played many RPGs?
I've played enough.
Oh, whatever. Usually that final boss battle, the music is so epic, it's crazy.
Do you want to play that with me and Dennis? It's called now. Okay,
no.
Cool.
No, this is a game that that has DLC that you can now play it a 3-player co-op. And I told you, I don't think you're meant to play RPGs in co-op mode, especially you and Dennis, because you guys ruin the stories. So, but I would recommend both of you guys playing this game single player, and then we could play it again
Okay.
3-player.
Fine.
Because it'll just ruin it for you.
Your top game, and I'm thinking it's not going to surprise anybody because it's the most hours you put into a game, is Unicorn Overlord.
Unicorn Overlord. I was absolutely addicted to this.
It was ridiculous.
The first 40 hours, it was like I was hooked on heroin or something. I don't know. I couldn't stop playing it. The game is so deep. It's crazy. Like, I'm sure you can have like 50 people and they'll all build their squads and play it 50 different ways. Like, it's awesome. I touched about everything I could possibly touch in the game without 100%ing it. There's no, I didn't. Well, I got 100% of the map and all that stuff there, but I didn't get the platinum trophy. I don't give two farts about that.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
And I think this has opened up avenues where you'll probably look at more tactical RPGs because you had been pretty strict on the fact that you didn't like RPGs, and then you started playing them, and then you're like, I like RPGs, but I don't like tactics.
I haven't found a tactics game. That's
So
but now I have.
You have some here. You have some great ones
I have
here.
2 tactics RPGs on this list this year.
Yeah,
Kudelka
that's right.
And Unicorn
But
Overlord.
I'm saying you have some here that are some of the best ones. Final Fantasy Tactics and Vanguard Bandits that people keep saying are great ones to play. So maybe those will go in the rotation in 2025. We'll see.
All right.
Very last screen, and then we're going to name all the games you played and how many hours, just very quickly. Games completed, 26. Hours played, 624. 8 genres, 11 consoles.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Partridge in a pear tree. Let's name all the games. I tried to keep these in order, and I do really good at the first year, and then I crap out.
I'm sure she forgot.
I didn't.
She did.
Cosmic Star Heroine, 18.5 hours. Final Fantasy 2, 15 hours. Ys Origin, 24. South Park Stick of Truth, 13. Kudelka for 23.5. Evil West for 15. Gauntlet for 10. Trine 5 for 25. Alice Madness Returns for 20. Albert Odyssey, 28. Sniper Elite V2, 7 hours. Sniper Elite 3 for 6 hours. Super Mega Baseball 4 for 50. Deathwish Enforcers, 1 single hour of fun. Curse of the Sea Rat, 17 hours. Sea of Stars for 56. Ninja Gaiden, 25. 25, that's how long it took him to finally get that final run. Zombieland Double Tap Road Trip, 4 hours. Zombie Vikings, 10. Earthbound, 32. Ghostbusters Remastered, 8 hours. Kirby Planet Roboto, 10 hours.
Robobot? Robobot. Yes, Robobot, not Roboto. You screwed it up.
You messed me up.
I didn't mess you up. You said it wrong.
10 hours. Super Mega Baseball 2, 50 hours. Parasite Eve, 21.
It's right there.
Roboto. I
You put Roboto. You wrote it down wrong. No wonder.
Unicorn Overlord, 85 hours. And Super Mega Baseball 3 for 50 hours. So yeah, that was a lot.
You have Super Mega Baseball 4 doing that?
Over here. Maybe I just skipped over it for 50 hours.
What about Super Mega Baseball 2? Okay, just making sure I get my baseball hours in.
Yes, so that's all the games Scott played in 2024. And now we get to move on to a better list. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, game on.